That band, All Our Exes Live in Texas. And we are going to be talking about Texas next.
Mornings on ABC Radio Canberra.
With me, Louise Marr. Good to have your company on this Wednesday morning. It's the 18th of January. And our phone number's 1300 681 666, 1300 681 666. You can text 0467 922 666. A Canberra education technology startup is the only Australian company chosen to pitch its wares at the prestigious South by Southwest conference that's going to be held in Austin, Texas in March. Quizling has developed a quiz-based app that connects learners of all ages with what it describes as the whole education ecosystem. Now, as I mentioned a little earlier, I've had a go. It's a lot of fun, even though my results were appalling when I did the Sun quiz. But Dion Oxley has joined us this morning. She's one of the co-founders of Quizling. Hi, Dion. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
There, you can say hello now. I had you on the wrong mic. Hello.
Oh, hello. Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure to have you here. You're a former school teacher, but how did you get into this tech ed or ed tech startup business?
Yeah, absolutely. So my co-founder, Damien Trask, and I are both school teachers here in Canberra, and we're looking at things to use in our classroom. So a lot of ed tech was really focusing on maths and science, and we're humanities teachers. So
Primary school or high school?
high school, middle school. Yeah, and so Damien actually had a kid who asked, I want to play a health quiz. He couldn't find a health quiz, couldn't find something to make such a specific quiz. And so we decided to have a go of it ourselves. And it was a hit with our students and it was a hit with our colleagues. And so it really has come along from there.
So did you start, first of all, like just with pen and paper or?
Absolutely, yeah. Paper, dining room table, clip art, putting pictures together. And I think that's one of the things that we look at now. It's really hard when you're in the middle of something, but you look back and you're like, wow, that pencil sketch, that's where it started from. So it's been a really exciting journey.
Well, take us on that journey. How do you go from drawing up quizzes at the kitchen table to developing an app that people overseas now want to take a good look at?
Yeah, so we started looking at things that would work in our class, and then our students and our colleagues were really the biggest, feedback, ideas base that we had. And then being teachers in Canberra, one of the things was that driving to school each morning, I was driving past the Mint, the library, the gallery, the museums. These guys have amazing education departments, fantastic content, and I really urge all teachers to go and grab their stuff. It really saves you a heap of time. And so we approached them and they've put a whole heap of quizzes, content-related resources on the app, and that has given us an enormous exposure.
So they've got all the information and they give you the information and you collate it into the quizzes? Is that how it works?
Oh, look, it's even trickier than that. They do it themselves.
Right.
Absolutely.
So they're coming up with quizzes for you to put on the app?
Quizzes, absolutely. Yeah. They have these great stories, this great content. So I think we have about 250,000 Year 5, 6 students from around Australia come to visit our library, our gallery, our Mint every year. And as they come, they all get given quizzes to play. It just gives them a little bit more of an idea of what Canberra is and what these institutions do. And then they take it back with them. So we now have quizzes played across the Nullarbor, in Kalgoorlie, Broken Hill, all over the place, which is really exciting for us.
Do they make up their own quizzes as well, the kids? Do they get inspired?
Absolutely. So one of the things that we knew was that really great learning did happen when the kids actually had to synthesize that information themselves. So, if they go and watch a movie or they go and see something at the gallery, then they can make questions and they can think of fake answers and tricky questions, and they get a better, deeper understanding of what's going on. And they're outrageously competitive. So they will make a whole heap of stuff to trick their parents, their friends, and they're probably some of the most prolific creators on the site.
It is a startup. It is a tech startup. So how do you make money from this?
Yeah, so we started, in Canberra, we have something called the Griffin Accelerator. So that's run out of the Canberra Innovation Network. And so we took part in the very first Griffin Accelerator in 2014, and that was the question that they really posed to us. So it always had to be free for people to download, to create and play, and we didn't want advertising in front of kids and those sorts of things. but that's also where our institutions come in. So they pay annual subscriptions, and then they get a sense of where are their quizzes being played, who's playing them, what do people know, what's popular. And it's a great way for them to do outreach to their broader audience.
So they're collecting the data.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a really interesting kind of collaboration. It's a win-win, isn't it?
Absolutely. Well, they have national mandates. So they have an Australian collection that has to be much more than just for Canberrans. And so this is a really neat way for them to say, yeah, look, we are engaging an audience in Tasmania, Queensland, Western Australia.
Now, tell me about it's 9:25 and Dion Oxley is with us. She's the co-founder of the Canberra startup Quizling, which has been invited to strut its stuff at this conference in Austin, Texas in March. And it's the South by, it's got a little acronym, but basically the South by Southwest conference, which is a lot to do with music and film, but it seems increasingly so, technology and new frontiers in technology. Would that be right?
Absolutely, yeah. So it's an enormous festival. It's held in Austin in March each year. About 50,000 people come to Austin for that week. And it's a huge discussion and exploration and collaboration in all things innovation. So innovation in film, music, education, tech, gaming, the lot.
And so what will you do? What's the process there? So there's, I think, 10 finalists selected from right across the world. How did you pitch your idea to them in the first place, and why do you think you got chosen?
Yeah, so they open up their applications each year, and being teachers, we knew that this was one of the preeminent education forums globally, because this is where these great conversations really do happen, and places, our apps like Kahoot have used it before. So we went through the application procedure, which was online forms, submitting a video, a few little hurdles, and then found out a couple of days ago that, yes, we were one of 10 companies chosen from around the world to go, and actually 9 of those companies come from North America. So not only are we the only Australian company to go,
the only one outside the States. Yeah. And what do you think has so piqued their interest? Is there no one else doing this sort of thing?
Absolutely. So all 10 companies have got really niche and innovative approaches to education. So I think that's what attracted their attention, was looking at education as something that's outside of our classrooms. So I think teachers and schools, it's really about bringing the community in. And so that looking at kids as creating, and then bringing those museums, bringing corporations, bringing organisations who have got experts in these areas.
And that's what you mean by that's what you mean by accessing the education ecosystem. I quite like that phrase.
Absolutely, yeah. We are much bigger than our schools and our classrooms.
Matt has a question for us. Are all the quizzes just text, or can images, video and other media be included? I certainly know that they have images. The sun quiz that I did so dreadfully at this morning, I was doing it in a hurry. It did have some really great images and, jam-packed with information. And there's another one too, I think, about cities or about the Opera House, which obviously lends itself to images. But what about moving images, video, other media? Yeah,
we don't have moving images within the quiz at the moment. So it just keeps the size of the quizzes down, but absolutely they are jam-packed with lots of images. So the Opera House one is one from the National Library's classroom collection. There's also some great stuff about art and these are really visual learning tools. You also notice little pop-ups jump up at you with extra information, did you knows? And then on a lot of the quizzes at the front, there'll be a related resource. So you can click on that and then you can go to whatever the resource is. So Behind the News actually has a channel. They put their quizzes each week for their topic up, and you click on the related resource and then you can watch their episode.
Where do you hope Quizling goes, Dion? What are your plans and hopes for the future with this app?
Yeah, look, we always had this idea that somewhere, there might be a kid who sits in Canberra who creates a quiz and is then able to log into their back end and have a look and say, this quiz that I created here in Canberra has been played in the US, in Iceland, in, Uruguay, and starts to bring that global world together with all those stories and all those resources. So that would be brilliant. And South by Southwest is certainly a really good step towards that.
Oh, it is indeed. So you've got history quizzes, art quizzes, science quizzes. Do you have word quizzes? They're my favourite.
Absolutely. There's a whole heap of different spelling ones. So we were just chatting a little off air about the Australian spelling, US spelling.
Yes.
So yes, there's a whole heap of spelling related things on there, grammar stuff. You can make a quiz on whatever topic you like, and you can even make them in any language that you like. So whatever language you've got on your keyboard, right away. So there's some Chinese language quizzes, Japanese quizzes. Go for it.
Wow. I wish you all the best. And no doubt one of my colleagues here at ABC Radio Canberra will nab you when you're back from the conference to talk about how it all went. Very exciting times ahead for this
Really
Canberra
exciting.
startup. Yeah. Thank you so much, Dion.
Thank you for having me.
Dion Oxley is a co-founder of Quizling. It's spelt Quizling.
Yeah.
Go and download it now. You can find it on the net. It's free. It's fun for kids. It's fun for grown-ups. It's fun for me. And it's a fun way of learning. That's what it's all about. And reaching into the educational ecosystem. Quizling have been working with the national institutions here in Canberra, but also a great way to encourage anyone to make up their own quizzes that can be shared right around the world.